Hi, Zerafina here. I am in week 3. So if this is the first time you've tuned in, this is the 3rd week of a songwriting challenge where I put up a song draft and talk about where I'm at in the process. The theory is that then I work on one of those songs and reintroduce what I've done with it. Some of them I've decided I don't think I want to continue writing at the moment, and the others I just haven't done. This is the so naughty. Here's the song. This is the one I've been dreading because it's still in such a draft form. I do love the chorus, and the content is sad, and I don't like to think of it. And but let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. He bent like a cheap playing card. There will never be any love between us. He was just a tease, a piñata, a big bust. He wasn't strong, he tore apart. He tore apart my paper heart. Ooh. This week's song is uncomfortable. I may record another one, but it's uncomfortable. It's emotionally uncomfortable. But I kind of think that's really important, is to share vulnerability in a song, because I've found that as an artist or as a performer, whenever I've tried to be that idea, or I've tried to be some idea of being perfect, or I don't know how to explain it, but I just find it when I share the vulnerability of the work that people connect much better, because there's a lot more relatable in the song. And I think that's a big thing about creative courage too. And funnily enough, this song was about emotional courage. And for Songwriting 101, this is kind of taking us back to the beginning of the process, in that the idea of the generation of the idea, and then how the song develops from there. I think I mentioned it in the first video. If you haven't seen it, you can go back and have a look. That we in art we tell lies to tell a greater truth. Finding the greatest truth of this song is really about I don't know. And it's funny because I've been trying to think about what it's about to try and talk about it for this video. The truth of it is believing somebody was a person, believing someone was someone you really connected with, and then for whatever reason they just disintegrate into pieces, and there's nothing there. There's no friendship, there's no it didn't mean anything. And those nuances of things being about friendship actually don't really work in the context of a song. Or if you're going to talk about a passionate connection, people will think it's a love song anyway. Not to say that they're not elements of that in this song, but that when I go on to write more of it, this will be a straight up "you lied to me" song. At the same time, I've got to think about, and this is going to sound weird, but just what I want to put into the world as an artist. And I don't love that kind of that idea of blame, somebody else is to blame for something. But I do love the idea of a really juicy metaphor. And I was taking a group in Singapore, and my friend Mingwei, hi Mingwei, was there, and I was looking for an idea for people to start generating ideas from a thesaurus, which I got through some of that process. And a group didn't have one. Some of them had love songs. Their topics were more around being friend-zoned, which I loved. It's great to have a consistent topic. There was a piece of paper, and we'd been talking about hearts, and I said, okay, paper heart. And Mingwei said, that's really great. And he explained it was great because you can rub something out, but it's still, the stain of it is still there. And just all the different properties of paper. And it really got me thinking about, that's actually quite quite a great title, and I kept coming back to it, and thinking about, well, paper can be this hugely strong thing. So if you think about cardboard, it can have all these properties and all these amazing images too. So throughout the last, I would say it's 2 months now, it's at least 6 months, six weeks to 2 months now, I've been collecting ideas. So it's something that I'll get up late at night and I'll put in the notes, Google Notes in my phone. I've got paper tiger. I can't believe I didn't think about paper tiger, and so I've got a paper tiger idea in the bridge. It also meant I went through a process of, so there are an enormous number of notes here. Well, not enormous. There's actually more than this. This is actually generated after consulting a rhyming dictionary and a thesaurus. So going to a thesaurus and looking up the words paper. I'm not sure if I looked up heart, but I looked up the things that related to paper. So like playing cards, the idea of gambling, the idea of risking your feelings. I love the idea of, and all these ideas, I don't know if they'll make it into the song. So ideas of confetti. I love, confetti's kind of got that old school wedding feel to it, as well as being something light and it gets stuck in stuff and it's beautiful for a moment and then it's kind of dirty. And so different images around paper. So I like the idea of paper lanterns. I do love a recurring theme throughout all of my work. I don't think it's very obvious, but I love the idea of gambling, because I love the idea of chance. I don't actually enjoy actual gambling very much, but the idea of taking a chance on things and the risk you take, and is it fortune's wheel that goes around? So is it fate, or are you self-determined in what you're choosing to do? And so that's where a lot of those ideas have come. That's the song for this week. Verse development, I've got some verse ideas, but my next step is to go through looking at the boxes. So I am a bit of a Pat Patterson fan, and the idea that your song has sort of 3 boxes that go through, and how does that song gain weight through each of those, rather than just saying, because kind of in the chorus I've covered the whole idea. I'm saying he was something he did not appear to be, and he fell to pieces. I've got some dummy lyrics in there. Yeah, the second line, there will never be any love between us, is a bit like, I don't know, it was just a placeholder. But then I found a really nice between us and piñata, big bust. Oh, which I love that line so much. I'm married to that. I want to be married to that line. That line's beautiful, because you've got the piñata, which has all the paper on the outside. It's got the paper mache. You've got the smashing, the lollies coming out. I don't know. I love that whole image. So that line staying in there, even though that's not a line that I love. But at the moment, that's in there. And now I need to find a way to tell a story and there's no point in it being about any of the details of what made me want to write the song. But the emotional truth of that is the real challenge. So how do you tell the emotional truth of that? Through what lens, through what storytelling lens do you tell that emotional truth of just being so disappointed, so but fooled too? I don't know, kind of it's a nuance I haven't quite figured out yet, but I like the idea of somebody appearing to be something and you believing them to be something which they're completely not. And related to this idea and related to this experience was actually somebody at a hotel who completely just pretended to be a skipper of a boat and traveling from Hong Kong, and some of my background's in non-verbal communication, so in not lie detecting. I mean, you've still got a 60-40 for an actual expert. I'm not a super expert, and most people can only spot a lie 50% of the chance, but I was just totally, it went over my head that he was completely making this up and he skipped down on his hotel bill. But people are not what they appear to be sometimes, and sometimes I think people want to show you who they'd even like to be, not who they actually are. So I'd like to explore that idea, but I have 3.5 minutes. And a song is a 3.5 minute screenplay. So there's got to be a lot of tight story, and it's a one story song too. Although if I were writing a short story or a novel, you could weave different themes through it and bring a lot more of those nuances, a lot more of the light and shade to it. This has to then be about a relationship, a romantic relationship where there's been some form of lying. There's definitely some emotional untruths, or and figuring out how to say that. And also because I have to sing the song, because I'm a singer-songwriter, I'm having to sing the song, being aware of how that makes me feel. So how can I write a story that I actually want to tell over and over again? You know, is there some kind of resolution I can have at the end of it? Or songs I wrote for my album, that not all of them were songs that I wanted to play live. They were songs I wanted to write, but they weren't all songs I wanted to play. I want to be aware of that for my release, that I'm the schmuck who has to play them. So I really got to like them. Tune in for next week. I've only got one more song that I have started writing. This series will then start into interviewing people about their process, because the great thing about doing these YouTube videos is that then I've been speaking to people about their process and hearing really amazing things. I'm really keen to start interviewing people about their creative process, even if it's not songwriting, but what are their expectations of creating art? Where do they get stuck? How do they become unstuck? And how has their vision of their creative work changed over their life? Please subscribe. I'd love you to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I wanna kill you. She wants to kill